we are at the end of day 5 of our Inspired conference, and it is incredible. It has been a roller coaster week, and with so much information that I think many people are feeling rather overwhelmed, but that is the beauty of it, the fact that you can go back and in your own time visit and watch these videos. And you know, so this would enable you. Artists from Malaysia called Sketchpost do these sketches for us based on the core messages. We did one for Monday, the schools, the future of schools, and then we did one for Friday, where we felt, you know, we had just so much information and so much that we could share with people. So, and in order to try and make sense of it and get the story together, we thought, what better way than doing it via a graphic. So Sketchpost has always been around doing the conferences where they do the sketch posters live while the conference continues. But in this age of online engagement, they then also started doing this you know, remotely, which I think is just absolutely brilliant. So let's just quickly have a look, and I'm not going to go through each and every speaker's contributions, but I thought it's very important for us to just look at what lies underneath. And for me, the core message of day 5 in terms of the future of sustainability is that it is all about collective action. It is about people not only looking at one of the SDGs, but looking at weaving this in, because the one cannot exist will not succeed without solving the other crises around that. And today, what coincides with our conference is also that we have Gail Mowgli launching the Connect Aid platform, which is just absolutely brilliant, because again, there's a realization, like with Lawrence Leon, who talked about the philanthropy circle, the Asia Philanthropy Circle. Also, Dipti Kumar today spoke about collective action and the collective impact model, and Caitlin's looking at using political ecology to look at the broader spectrum, finding the root causes of problems instead of just trying to address the symptoms of those problems. And what I also really enjoyed was Andy Andrea's session on successful and meaningful partnerships, which was something that in our discussions with him really made me think about how can we do this better? How can we think about the world and think about not only if we think about sustainability, it's not just about the environment, it is about transformation, transforming the way our societies are structured, transforming the way we do business, transforming the language that we use. So it's a very broad and interconnected view of the world and action that is necessary for us to work towards the SDGs and actually achieve those goals of reducing the poverty gap and improved quality education and protecting the environment and gender equality. So very complex, a very complex view of the world that is necessary. And this is exactly why we did what we did with this conference. I was asked a lot by many people, why so many themes? This is so confusing. This is so big. We don't know where to touch and what to touch and where to, we don't know where to focus, because why don't you just focus on one particular interest group because you will get better buy-in? And I think that could potentially be spin-offs, but I try to create this view of the world and of the future with these multi-dimensional lenses that are interconnected and with these broad cross-connected themes of inclusion and diversity, of compassion and empathy, the impact of technology, the importance of leadership. And I'm sure that if we look at this, we will be able to find many more of those cross-connecting lenses. So if we look at day 5 and we look at our speakers, with Gail talking about how, by taking collective action now, and ensuring that she created a system that would enable collaboration, change, more effective impact. And then Caitlin looking at how we could really look at environmental issues and with a much broader lens through political ecology. Deborah Leipziger, who ends off, who has the last session, and she uses, she focuses on 100 words that will define the future. And if you listen to her session, it's absolutely fascinating. She talks about positive mavericks, and I'd like to think that this is what all of our speakers are who are participating, and even our participants, that we all become positive mavericks and taking action to make a difference in the world. She talks about social design, which is instead of letting change happen organically, but really designing what you do with intent. And she talks about being upstanders, and I love that word, being upstanding in terms of standing up for rights, standing up for changing the world, not accepting it when you see any kinds of unfair behavior or actions that would destroy our climate. And we see that with our Gen Zs, the Greta Thunbergs. And if you watch Kenneth Kwok's session at the end, you will also see 5 upstanding young people, all with their own foundations, all with a very determined view on what the future will bring. So she also talks about focused training that's necessary. We talk about sustainability, we talk about equality, we talk about human rights, but what does it really mean? And how are people trained, and what are the standards out there against which we can measure this? So have a look, enjoy these graphics, use it, share it, and I hope that it helped bring together the core messages of day 5 of our conference. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for this, and I want to take you to something else as well. So I'm wondering how many of you have actually unlocked your bonus pack. So what is your bonus pack? Your bonus pack consists of a heap of resources and freebies and offers by our speakers that they are making available to you. There are free downloads of books, there's free one-on-one sessions, free training sessions, free access or demo access to their new systems. We have with us here in the call Karen Ardley, and she just launched an amazing online platform for school and teacher development. We have with us VS Ravi, and Ravi has also made available and offered some amazing free and also heavily discounted training sessions. We have Leonor Stjepic from the Montessori group, and they have free training, and she's also put the links to that in this book, in your goodies bag, in your conference goodie pack. So please, what does it mean? How do you get this? All we are asking from you is just to be active. Make a comment, put a video in the Itspace platform where you give feedback. Use the Mentimeter polls under your speakers' conversations. There are links, and I will show you, for example, what this looks like. Now, Karen, here's one for you, where we've started looking at we've put two of these underneath yours. So there's one where people are forming a word cloud. The other one is where they are looking at leadership behaviors. Each and every speaker has one of these Mentimeter polls that will give them feedback. We also have our Google Forms underneath each of the speakers' slides on each page, and please give feedback. By now we've got quite a significant number, and we will share that feedback with you over time. And I just want to show you what it looks like if you haven't yet been there in the Headspace platform. It's amazing. A 2-minute video. You can respond. You can meet people. This is where the interactive component of our conference comes in, because what we really struggled with was, how do we find a significant or a good enough blend between the virtual, the pre-recorded sessions, which enables people across a 14-hour time difference, or even more in some cases, to participate and watch the sessions and not be excluded, because we want to have an inclusive and a sustainable experience. And how do we at the same time meet the human need for connection and for conversation? And I sincerely hope that this is going to keep on. We are not ending the conference. It's not the last of it. It's maybe the last of the formal side of the conference, but it is definitely not the end of the learning. So in your bonus pack, please get things like a book that is published today. New, it's brand new, out of the press, by the NAMA Foundation and the EduLead program. You will also find a conference book. Now, the conference book is a work in progress, and we are putting in there some core ideas, information about the sponsors, and we will also share that with you. And of course, there's a certificate of participation. But one thing that I want to just share with you, and this is my last thought before we start going over to a conversation, is how to maximize the conference experience. So, because there's such incredible information, there are so many different ways that companies can use this conference, either just by individual participants who will just look at the sessions, give feedback, engage, and apply this in their own work. But there can also be a sharing of information where individuals are given the opportunity, either through running their own little mini webinars, to share with the company, with their teams, with their departments, what they have learned. Different teams can get different days to investigate and could then take on turns to present this. You can have knowledge champions, where these individuals take on some of the themes and look at how this can also be implemented in their school, in their university, in their company, in their school, and as well as annual CPD plans. There's enough information in this conference with all the speakers to actually structure your entire professional development plan for the year. So I hope that all this information is given to you in the conference. It is there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. We hope to see that the conversations continue beyond the conference. We will be sending out newsletters. We are planning a weekly feature on LinkedIn around the different authors and the different partners. We will share with you also your videos so that you can make some extracts out of it so that we could really capitalize on this. So this is a message. We have so many things to talk about. So I just wanted to open it up to the participants in this call to hear from you. What was your experience, and how have you found this? And maybe we can start with Leonor or Ravi or Karen.
Well, I'm happy to go first. First of all, well, thank you very much. I think it's been a really interesting couple of days. I think that I'm impressed with the work that you've done and what you've achieved, especially given that we live in very interesting times and challenging times. I think that it's a. I think, as I said in my part, this sense having a community, having people talking, is important. But I think it's more important now than ever, and having that sharing of information, knowledge across countries, getting that diversity of voices is essential if we're all going to sort of get out of this in one piece almost.
Yes.
So I think it's hugely important to have forum like this where we can share information and have a safe space to discuss things. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Leonor. And there's been just tremendously positive feedback in the IT space, but also in, from the participants who on your session. And I hope that this could lead to some further discussions even beyond the conference. So thank you for that. And thank you for participating. I feel really privileged. Karen, I don't know if you have any specific thoughts.
Well, I would echo everything that Leonor has just said, absolutely. And in the current situation, it has never been more important, has it, to reach out to each other, to learn from, different countries, different cultures is so important. I mean, I in the past have been lucky because I've been able to travel and to pick up all those things, but yeah, we have to do it differently now, and this is just such a wonderful way of doing it. I've very much this week thought this is just the beginning. And I know for you, after all the preparation and everything, it must also feel like, thank goodness we're off the ground and we're done, and a sense of that's done. But it is very much the start of something, I believe. And, I actually, to confess, I've had a very busy week, as you know, but I haven't accessed my bonus. And just looking at the screens that you've just shown us, wow. You say that's the school's CPD, but gosh, it's exciting. I can't wait to have a look at people's ideas, because I haven't been able to watch as many of the presentations as I would like to. I know I can go back and do that. But yeah, that's just going to be so wonderful. And I'm sure people will start, once you've looked at somebody's presentation, you've looked at the resources, that will trigger more, it'll nurture more contact, and people just, dropping each other a message and saying, hey, I love that, or, could you tell me more about this? So exciting.
Thank you so much, and absolutely I agree with you. It's the start of something, so as you say, there's the exhaustion of getting through the week and everything that's happened recently, but what kept me going was the fact that, wow, we're beginning something new. And people are beginning to understand what we've been trying to do, because, I had a conversation with Peter yesterday, and he's like, oh, now I understand, not yesterday, a few days ago, now I understand what it is that you're trying to do. You were talking about it, but it's just so big, and it's so, what is this thing? And it's, so that's what excites me. And I think it's also a thing of failing in safety, because yes, there were some aspects around it that I thought, oh my goodness, now if I go back, I would do it so much differently, but it's proof of concept. And this is open to input and ideas, and how can we actually take this further? Because what I just love is I grew as a person so much by just watching and learning and all these interviews with people. It's really changed my mindset. So, I'm excited about it, and thank you so much, Karen. Yes, Ravi. Thank you. You've been along the journey with us for the last few weeks, and we've gone to see some universities together. And, now that it's sort of come together, what are some of your thoughts?
I speak many conferences around the world, and when this was approached to me, it was, it couldn't make sense to me what you were trying to achieve. But you managed to put a live conference, putting it together. It's almost like a live conference. But the best thing is putting it together like it's all the pictures come together. It's amazing what you have done. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm sure, because next year is going to be much more better than this year. But the proof of concept, it worked. It really worked. That people get back to you and have conversations with you. When you go into a live conference, there's a breakout session that some lectures you can attend, some you can't attend. You miss out certain areas. Here you are able to go back and retrieve, see what you missed, what you have actually lost in that conversation. And if you have lost the conversation, you can actually go back to that person and ask, hey, I don't understand what you're actually saying there. Can you please elaborate further so that I can actually understand? That interaction that you have brought into this whole structure itself is absolutely amazing. Thank you for giving me the privilege to be part of your journey.
Thank you. And I mean, that has been the challenge that we had. Why do you go to a conference? You go to a conference because you want to learn. You go, some people it's travel and shopping, but that's not definitely why we did this. But I love conferences. I love the fact that I'm exposed to people that I wouldn't normally meet in the everyday context. And the other challenge that we had was, okay, so how do we bring together this event so that people can participate across the globe? Because the moment you have a live webinar session, you exclude people from some part of the world. And then you can't, yes, you can record it, but it's just different. So let's do it this way. But the part that I feel we need to work on more is how to get people engaged. And I hope that because the sessions are available, because the platforms for communication are available, and I think we need to work on even improving that, I hope that aspect will grow over time, Ravi. So as you said, go back to people now, take your time, work through the sessions. We did scripts for all the sessions, we did subtitling, and we downloaded all these scripts and we edited them. We have 350 pages of conversation. And I'm like, oh, we can work together and publish a book. We can have weekly articles on LinkedIn. This is something so great. So, with in a sense, a little bit of disappointment that we didn't have more engagement. I understand also that it's a busy time. People are overwhelmed. There's so many events going on and everybody has. So the fact that it's going to last for 365 days, I hope that we will see this engagement grow over time. So what about Lucy or Peter? What are your thoughts?
Maybe I'll go first. When I first knew about this through Edu Summit, I was not interested to sign up. And then another friend, Nasmi, posted on his social media. He is a teacher, Edu in Malaysia. Then he actually requested 4 days of leave just to attend this conference. Then I got panicked. Oh, it's 10 o'clock already. I should quickly purchase this. And honestly, when I first purchased it, I was very disappointed because I knew, how come it's all pre-recorded? Yeah. Then only I think 2 or 3 days ago, then I get connected to Elmarie through Facebook, and I realized it is so amazing. And then I started to have a Zoom session, like the mini session you mentioned earlier on, with my friends. However, only 2 or 3 person joined, but it's still quite fun. Yeah. So I'm very thankful, Elmarie, for initiating this mind-blowing session. Thank you.
Well, it's hopefully, I mean, you're taking action, and that's great. You are now creating little mini sessions, you're connecting with people, and you're creating a model of how you can share the learning. Yeah, that's fantastic, and I'm glad your mind was changed. Yes, it was amazing. I posted something about the teacher. He calls himself Little Chucky, and I think all of you, Karen, Leonor, Ravi, you should learn about this teacher. He's in Sarawak, in the rural areas, in the jungle. There's nothing, there's no electricity, and his view is, if I can't bring my children to the world, I'll bring the world to my children. And what he does with those children is, I've never seen anything like that in my life. Go on his Facebook page. He builds laundrettes from boxes, and then they must bring their shopping baskets with clothes and sorted, and you know, they have that experience. Or then he comes dressed like a pilot and he changes the whole class so that it looks like a real airplane. And these kids, you know, they have these experiences. Like, it's just, you know, that gives me hope for the future. And I'm so glad that he, you know, he wrote about this, how he got 4 days off from his principal to go into town so that he can get electricity and he can watch the conference. And you know, that makes me very, very happy. Peter, are you still there with us?
Yes, I'm most definitely still here. Yeah, sorry if I look a bit messy. I only woke up about like an hour and a half ago because here in the Netherlands it's quite early in the morning still. So I'm here.
So what are your what has your experience been, Peter?
I think I was in a similar. I had a similar impression of it as I think quite a few other people, which is that at first I couldn't quite understand the scope of what was going to happen here. But once the conference started and I saw all the content and all of the knowledge being shared, I was really impressed. I mean, like, in fact, to the extent that I was like, how did you guys even do this? I mean, there's just so much content. There's so much stuff here. And then I saw the bonus pack as well. I did look into it, actually. I think even on the first day, or was it the first day? I don't know, in the past, but it was incredible. It was really amazing to see just how many things you could get into. Just the bonus pack by itself is already incredible. There's all these discounts and links and all this extra stuff that I didn't even know was included in the package beforehand. But yeah, I was really impressed with everything and all of the speakers. I watched quite a few of them, actually, quite a few of the speeches. And yeah, I'm just very impressed in general with the entire conference.
Well, that's fantastic, and thank you very much. I hoped we would see a few more people join us, but I know it's a busy life. Everybody is rushing from the morning till the evening. I know that Gail planned to be here, but she's launching her Connect Aid platform, and I'm just appealing to everybody, and I'm going to post this on the platform, to keep on connecting, to keep on engaging, to share ideas of what you think we could potentially do different, what we could do, if you have any idea of what we could do with what we've done to work towards the next conference, because we're going to have Inspire 2021 for sure. And it's interesting that there are already people contacting me, asking me for a speaking engagement, if they can be part of the next conference. So, yes, just heartfelt thanks to everybody, and also to the organizers, to Nigel, who worked so hard. It's such a pity he's not here with us. He worked very, very hard to help put this together. To Vanita, who helped with the interviews, to the team that did some research prior to our interviews. And we had a big team of people helping to do the videos, people who helped to transcribe. Everybody was just so supportive and so kind and helpful, and I am just so pleased. So thank you very much for joining us in this conversation, and we will arrange now some regular scheduled talks. I want to call it Inspired Talks, and we will schedule people to participate, and hopefully you can share that in your networks and get more people to join us in. And of course, way ahead of time, right? So a lot of this was sort of last minute as we realized what are all the additional things that we could add. So following this, I don't know how much you've seen of today's sessions, but I do want to recommend that you do watch the session of Kenneth Kwok from Hong Kong. He brings on board 5 young people, and the youngest is 7, and he has his own foundation. And these kids are just so inspirational, and it just makes you feel that you can live a life of purpose from when you're very young. You don't have to wait until you've left school to suddenly decide what it is that you're working towards. So is there any last parting message from any of you before we leave the call?
May I just say something else? This week, and you mentioned earlier, Elmarie, we've launched a platform, a professional development platform for all school needs. And we have some scholarship schools. We have a school in Malawi. We have an orphanage in Kenya. And we have some of the UN schools that I work with that serve Palestinian refugees in the Near East. But you mentioned that Little Chucky School doesn't have electricity, but if you know of a school that does have internet access, we're very happy to add to our list of scholarship schools where there is no charge at all for real professional development. So if anybody does know of one, that you would like to join into our scholarship network, we'd be delighted. That's really what we're about.
Thank you, Karen. That is amazing. And I really love what you've done, because you've taken something and you've created a sustainable resource. You know, we can't fly across the world anymore to go into schools. And as you've demonstrated, you actually also have blended models where you can do remote teaching or training, or they can do it individually. So it's a fantastic model, and congratulations for the extreme hard work, and thank you for the wonderful offer. I can just already tell you that I know of some schools in Tanzania, schools in Lebanon who might be very, 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 very eager to take up your offer. Thank you so much for that. Ravi, last parting words?
Okay. Elmarie, I don't know how you did it, but it's amazing what you've done. Keep it going. The thing is that the whole conference is your life. It's like a lifeblood. It's evolving. It's evolving down there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to evolve to the next stage. I'm not sure how it's going to evolve into, but there must be something that keep it active, like what you're doing now. If you can, as you said, that you're going to have a series of conversations, series of talks you're going to have, I think that is the one that's going to keep on growing. And once again, brilliant. You and your team, it was amazing 5 days. Thank you so much for the privilege.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your support. You know, really, it means the world. Mr. Kisai, do you have a word for us? I see you there in the bottom. Did you have a comment? No. Okay. Peter, Lucy, last comments from you before we switch off this call or end this call?
Yeah, I am really looking forward to seeing where this goes, and I will definitely be joining in for the live talks or like whenever that's going to happen. So count me in.
I'm going to rope you in to help organize this, you know, for sure. Lucy, you as well.
Also, please send me the invite for any live sessions. I enjoyed this live session.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you, everybody, and have a lovely day. And please enjoy the rest of the sessions. I just want to see, I see Bruno has just joined us. So I just want to introduce you to him before we go, because Bruno has done a great job with his role crafting, and he's had great feedback from people, and it's a good opportunity for you to meet. I think, Ravi, you and Bruno should for sure have a conversation and about, you know, structuring of organizations. And I don't know if you managed to see his session. Karen, I don't know if you saw Bruno's session. It's something I will definitely recommend. I had a wonderful conversation with him, and hello, Bruno, and we had a great conversation about finding meaning in your organization. And I think it's especially interesting in schools, because schools have such a typical hierarchical structure. And how could this concept of role crafting also be And Bruno has a wonderful platform that he also has that does this. Bruno, your platform is available for people to actually take the organization through the role crafting process, right?
Yes, thank you so much. That's very nice to hear that. Yeah, everyone listening who wants a demo, I'm happy to do so. Just drop me an email and we can organize that and you decide for yourself. You have the possibility to use it if you wish. So you can develop your own things with it if you wish. So just drop me an email, we do a demo and you decide by yourself.
Yeah, and Bruno, a lot of positive feedback from your session. Well, I will share with all the speakers the feedback that we've been getting through the Google form that we've, apart from,
that's so kind.
We hope that over the coming few weeks that more people jump into the EdSpace platform. But I find that some people are very shy to make videos of themselves. They feel very exposed. So it's something to get used to. Lucy, great stuff. You made your video on the EdSpace platform, and Mr. Kisai, I hope to see you there. But it's a great way of just building up your own channel. And Karen, it's something you can definitely recommend to the schools as well, because they can, build up those 2-minute PD sessions based on what they're learning from your platform. So beyond the conference, that also has meaning. Bruno, do you have any comments about the conference and anything that stood out for you?
Well, my comment is about the energy. I mean, my first comment is about the incredible energy you and the Inspired Conference team put behind that project. It's amazing. I mean, I just want to repeat it, but and only for that reason, it's worth pursuing.
Oh, thank you.
No, that's so great. I mean, this is an incredible challenge you decided to take on, building a community across the world of people from completely different directions at the beginning, people who don't know each other, people who want to contribute to a better world. So there's a lot of goodwill, you have incredible energy, and it's worth doing something of it. I realize that it's difficult to get people engaged over the long term. So it's up to us to invent something. The only thing I want to share is we all have needs. We all have challenging lives.
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes we are isolated. My daughter, I just learned this morning that my daughter caught COVID-19 this morning.
Oh dear.
Well, but she's 22-year-old, so that's fine. She will be fine. I got tested myself this morning, and I'm pretty sure we will all be fine. I'm just saying that to say I understand we all have challenges. And so the good thing is we can share our challenges. Okay, we can share what we need. So we can share what we want to achieve. And so one thing I would like to share with you is I want to make something out of this platform. And so we can find ways and we can discuss together so that if you wish to use it, you can. But I'm not pushing it. I'm not pushing it because it depends on what you want to achieve. Okay, do you want to develop a coaching business? Do you want to develop a consulting business? Do you want to find another job? Do you want to get promoted where you currently are? I mean, these are the most important questions. These are the most important questions. And so, but we can only be relevant if you share your most important question. What it is. I mean, do you want a great, nice early retirement? Do you want to have friends in the US? I mean, if you don't tell us, we don't know what to do with it. Yeah. But if you share your most important need, then it can be fun. Then it can be fun. Yeah. It can be a lot of fun. So let's see how it goes. But Thank you for making all this possible.
That's what we're trying to, you know, I think it's that realization, and it takes me back to why we did this as a, that you can dip into the, and I think many people couldn't understand this. It's a conference, but it's not a conference. It's a conference, but I can go on whenever it suits me, you know. That's not how it works. I need my program, I need my times, I need, you know, that's a real mind shift that people had to, you know, it's a mind shift change. But I think it's, as you say, Bruno, it's if people have to share in order for change to happen, and they have to commit, and they have to, but there's also a trust relationship. So I think as they begin to see what we're trying to do, and if there's consistency, there's regular talks every week, or however we're going to move forward with it, I hope that people will begin to understand what Inspired is all about, and hopefully that is how we will grow and how this network will expand, and you know, be there for one another, and be the safe space where we could talk with each other and get support from one another. So yes, Bruno, thank you so much for what you've done, and please connect with our other speakers. And I'm so sorry that more people couldn't make it, but maybe we'll organize another session next week and a week beforehand, so that people are more available and can plan on their schedule, so that we can see what are some of the emerging knowledge, what are some of the things that we want to take further, and how we could collaborate on that. So thank you everybody for your participation. Great you made it, Bruno. Hope your daughter is going to be okay, and Karen, and I hope you're safe there in the UK. You know, we here in Malaysia, I think we are sort of reasonably insulated from the problems. You know, very, very, if there are 10 cases, it sort of makes a national headlines. So we are, it's much, we're much better off in that terms. But yeah, thank you, Peter, for your constant, I mean, you're present everywhere and making videos and asking questions. And, you know, this is what we want young people to be, you know, take action, participate, put yourself out there. And I really appreciate that so much. Lucy, thank you so much. I know you were quite shy, quite afraid to post your first video, and isn't it wonderful? You can now share with your friends what this is all about. So, right, thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys soon again, and thank you for joining us today. Bye-bye. To really digest this in your own time. So let's just have a very quick talk about day 5, and I'm going to share my screen.